What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be showing you how I cook a steak. Now, this isn't a well done steak. It's either medium rare or medium well. I think it's medium rare because it's still a little bit of pink in it. Listen, I'm not a cook. I don't cook for a living. I don't know the proper terminology for some of this stuff, but I do know how to cook, and I do know what tastes good and what doesn't, and how to properly execute a dish. So just because I don't know the terminology doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. I know how to cook a steak, and this is what you need to cook a steak. Salt, pepper, olive oil, butter. 4 simple ingredients. Now, if you want to be extra and have a little sauteed onions on the side, or even make a gravy with the pan drippings, I mean, you're more than welcome to do that. Matter of fact, I will recommend doing that because I actually did it in this video just off randomness, because I saw, okay, let me just get to the video. So let's start with our ingredients. You need olive oil. You need a steak. I'm using a strip steak. You need salt, you need pepper, and you need butter. Plain and simple.
Also, 1 onion for sauteing onions if you want grilled onions on the side.
The way I did this video, I started sauteing my onions first, and then guess what? I realized, Darren, what are you doing? Why don't you wait till after the steak was in the pan to saute your onions and get up all that good steak flavor, that meat or whatever, that browning. So I was like, you know what, let me stop with the saute of the onions. So I stopped that. While the onions were sauteing, I was getting my steak ready. So I rubbed it down with olive oil, salt and pepper, period. That was it. Olive oil, salt and pepper. Once I took the partially sauteed onions out of the pan, I added my steak. Put it place it down on one side and did not move it for the most part. I left it on that side for 7 minutes because you want it to form a nice crust. Once that 7 minutes was done, I flipped it to the other side and let that cook for another 7 minutes. Once that side was done as well, I held the steak up and I did the sides where the fat was, so we can kind of render out some of that fat. So, you know, boom. But when I flipped it on the second side, I added some butter to it, and I I basted the steak with the butter several times, over and over and over. That is going to give it flavor, and it's just going to make it taste so good. So make sure you do that. Some people throw thyme and garlic in with their butter to give it more flavor. I didn't have that stuff. I'm just showing you what you can do with stuff that you got around the house. Some people don't know what thyme is, or rosemary. So just butter, salt and pepper, boom. Can't go wrong. Once the steak had browned on both sides, seared on both sides and around, I placed it in the oven for 5 minutes just to ensure that it was cooked through, but not well. So I left it in the oven for 5 minutes. Boom, once that came out of the oven, I took it out of the pan, placed it to the side, covered it with tin foil and let it rest. In the meantime, and in between time, I was getting my onions back into the cast iron that the steak had just come out of. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this as it's trying to brown, as I'm trying to saute it. I'm looking at it like a gravy would be good. So I just randomly made a gravy. So I grabbed some cornstarch. Now this isn't a part of my steak recipe. This is a totally random recipe. So I grabbed some cornstarch, sprinkled it over what was already a bunch of butter from me basting the steak. I sprinkled it over that with the onions in there, and then I grabbed some vegetable stock I had in my refrigerator and poured it, like I measured out a cup, and I just kept doing it, adding the vegetable stock to the sauteed onions like that. So I would pour a little bit in, stir it up, and it will start to thicken up. So by the time I used the whole cup of vegetable stock, it was a consistency that I liked. I added salt and pepper, for, you know, because you got to flavor your gravy. And then it was off the hook after that. It was good. I usually make a gravy with flour, but I've tried making a cornstarch gravy before and I've always messed up. But today it turned out exceptional and I was very excited about it and excited to share it with you guys. So that was it. You know, once the gravy was done, poured it over the steak, sliced it open. Saw a little bit of pinkness still, which I love, but mainly not no, you know, it wasn't still mooing. So, and it tastes, oh my God, like it melted in your mouth. It was so good. Like, you don't need no kind of sauce. You didn't even need the gravy with it. You don't need sauce. You don't need no special condiments when you make the steak this way. Salt, pepper, olive oil, butter, that's all you need. All right, guys, that is it again. I thank you for tuning in and watching me make these dishes. If you have any comments, questions, or anything you would like to say, please leave a comment down below. Make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe and share it too if you want. So until next time, thank you for watching and I'll talk to you later.